Hello and a very warm welcome to the Internet of Things Made Simple. I'm Larry Humor. This is the 10th episode in our COVID series, and I thank you very much for joining us. I try to do my best to look at things with a positive spin whenever I can. The news has told us there is some progress towards a vaccine, and of course the weather has warmed up in most parts. Yeah, we're in a pandemic still, but I like to take solace in the little things in life. For the last 2 months, my wife, like millions of other parents, has done a phenomenal job in her newfound role as a 3rd and 9th grade teacher. Our kids are doing some decent amount of work online through various platforms, Google Classroom and Zoom and stuff like that, and they seem to be maintaining their level of intelligence somewhat decently. However, like most parents, we wonder how long can this continue? There have been reports in some areas that kids might not go back to school in person in September. That's a scary thought, but it's already happening in many post-secondary institutions. This is going to kill one of my favorite commercials from coming back on. That's the one from Staples where the parents are so excited to send their kids back to school. They're walking down the aisle of the store singing the Christmas carol, "It's the most wonderful time of the year." But what if our kids stay home? In this episode, we examine how IoT will help kids both if they go back to school in person, which we all hope for, and if they stay home like they have the last 2 months or so. Some of these are long-time applications that have been done for many years. Other ones are more cutting edge. We'll start by looking at scenarios where kiddies do not go back. Just the thought of that makes me want to reach for a bottle of scotch. Back in a second. Each morning, millions of children yell out, "Here" or "Present" when their name is called. At least they did when I was in school. Am I really that old? They don't do that anymore. Taking attendance is a centuries-old ritual. It was made easy as the kiddies were right in front of a teacher. However, in the world of online, it's not quite so easy. Perhaps I should not admit this out loud, but I often leave the room during very boring conference calls with other participants being none the wiser. How do we ensure that kiddies don't duplicate what I'm doing and that they're actually in front of the screen during these calls? In some cases, the video feed will catch them, but I've heard of a few ingenious ways that kids have gotten away with this. I'm not going to say it because I don't want anybody to pick it up. One way we can prevent this is to use seat pressure sensors that let you know that the child is sitting in front of the chair. Another way is to have the student push a button periodically or a certain key on the keyboard to let the teacher know that the child is paying attention. They would just get a notification saying press the K or press the L button on your keyboard. These solutions use either Bluetooth or a keyboard that they already have, and they would work very well with tablets or laptops. For the second one, many of us will not see this as an issue. We take for granted that our internet connection, which our kids use up way too much, is always going to be up and blazing fast. For millions, this is not a luxury that they have. How do you have online classes when a bunch of kids can't even get online in the first place? One way to do it is to distribute low-cost cellular gateways and tablets to the less fortunate. Now, there are some issues here. How do you control airtime costs? Many tablets can be locked down to only run certain applications and work during particular time periods. The same goes for the device. As for the airtime, traffic can be blocked so that only school-authorized sites can be accessed, and often during school hours. When we come back, we're going to think much more positive here. We're going to assume the best, that school's actually open, and we're going to look at how IoT will help during this tough transition time. Okay, your kids are back at school. Your dream has come true. How do we both keep them safe and make sure we don't have to shut down the school and go through this all over again? Since one of the main symptoms of the virus is an elevated temperature, we need to screen kids very early in the day. It's not a lot of good screening kids at the entrance to the classroom if they're mingling on the bus or in the yard before class. We need to push that screening outside. So perhaps it's at the entrance to a schoolyard. If the kids are dropped off in one of those crazy long car lines, it's before they get out of the car. And perhaps if they get onto a bus, it's on the bus itself. This will greatly reduce the chance an infected child has too much contact with others. So assuming they made it past that screening step and they're now on school property, how do we ensure social distancing in a school of hundreds of kids? In a classroom, it's fairly easy to do. You can put dividers up, you can space the desks, you can do all of these things. Not so easy during recess and lunch. There are two great options, and which one to use depends on how old the children are. For the younger ones, video monitoring can help here. There are software packages that can be set up to alert if children are not maintaining the proper distance. Just as important, though, if they continue to not do that and one of the kids becomes infected, you might want to know which kids have had contact with that child. This is where the application can do that. It can say, this particular child has spent this much time with that student. They're very much likely to be infected. They need to be quarantined as well. For the older ones, we're going to use a device that's either in their pocket or more likely their hands at all time, their smartphone. This is not new. Bluetooth tracking has been used by some jurisdictions to alert those with the app when they might have come in close contact with someone with the virus. It's triggered by how long you spend with them, what kind of proximity. It's going to work very well here. Once you have more screening, though, that means you're going to have a higher rate of kids who are forced to stay home. Maybe they would have come to school normally. You're not going to let them in now. This means you have to bolster the teacher's ability to teach someone who is both in front of them as well as remote. Smart boards are not new, but they come in very handy here. Teachers are able to create content and write on the screen for kids in the class, and whatever they write on that screen or the board will be shown to the kids at home. When you combine this with Zoom and other virtual classrooms, this ensures kids who are forced to stay home, often for as long as 2 to 3 weeks, will not fall that far behind. When we come back, we'll wrap this up. Okay, I don't know any parent that's really excited about having their kids home all the time. Every one of them that I know is very much looking forward to their kids going back to school in the fall. I think even the little kiddies agree here. However, we need to bring them back in a manner that keeps communities safe, and it has to be in a way that maintains productivity. IoT can definitely help. I encourage any school board to reach out to me personally if you have any concerns or questions you think I can answer. We want to get the kids back. I'm not worried about making money here. If you're looking for more information on IoT in general, I encourage you to check out our webpage, the Internet of Things Made Simple.com. If you do want to reach out to me for this reason or any other reason, the best place to start, as always, is our Facebook page, ironically called the Internet of Things Made Simple. I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. I'm Larry Bohumer.